Hey, loves. If we're meeting for the first time, I am Aricka Foreman, a poet first in all things language and art, and author of the chapbook Dream with a Glass Chamber, which was published in 2016 with YesYes Books, and is also the home to my forthcoming full-length debut, Salt Body Shimmer, which I am incredibly proud of and really, really excited to share with you. Before I jump into reading and sharing some of these poems and the reason why I'm reaching out, I miss people. I do. I'm relatively introverted, but we need this. So we're trying to all do the best with the distancing that is incredibly critical and very necessary and life-saving for a lot of folks. But it is also incredibly challenging. So we're doing our best, and this is new for me because I'm kind of shy and don't always like to record myself doing things. But anyway, I really want to share the work. So I'm also reading to you from Chicago, Illinois, which occupies the following indigenous traditional homelands that I want to honor and hold space for, and hopefully I get them all right. Winnebago, Ho-Chunk, Oto, Missouri, Iowas, Menominee, Meskwaki, Sauk, Miami, Wea, Piankshaw, Kickapoo, Illini Confederacy, Ojibwe, Ottawa, and Potawatomi. So I want to hold space for those lands, for those folks who know all too well, like many marginalized communities in this country, what crises is like. So I honor those spirits. Thank you. Thanks so much for joining me as I share some poems with you from Salt Body Shimmer. My incredible editor and publisher, KMA Sullivan, though we are not doing sales through YesYes Books, sent me direct copies to sort of aid in this very challenging and difficult socioeconomic and political time. A lot of you, some of you, not sure, may know that my primary sort of means of supporting myself is working as a bartender in the Chicago bar and restaurant industry. And we, of course, started lockdown, today is Tuesday, over a week ago. So all of us have been out of work since then. And we all know the story, you know, many artists, artisans, curators, playwrights, writers, musicians, actors, all have at some point or currently are working in the restaurant and bar industry. So in addition to having readings and things canceled where there's opportunities to sell books or opportunities to have audiences to come and sort of behold a thing that you worked really hard on, and you know, there's also the secondary burden of the primary income also immediately drying up. And this is the case for many gig workers, many freelancers. So yeah, in addition to, in the comments, I'm going to put the information. In addition to how and where and what measures you can buy your copies of Salt Body Shimmer, which thank you in advance. I greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate your support. I'm also including information for fundraising measures to support hourly restaurant and bar workers who have been impacted by the COVID crisis as well. So give what you can to the fund. The community and support around it so far has been just overwhelmingly filled with love. And so I know people are incredibly grateful and thankful for the measures that have been circulating around, and anything that you can do to contribute, please do, and especially please share the information with your networks. Information is power. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to get into the poems of this beauty. I'm not going to lie, she's very pretty. I'm very, very happy with the way that it turned out. Shout out to Lorna Simpson, the GOAT, who was gracious and generous enough to say yes to this beautiful cover, for loaning her art for this beautiful cover. Eternally, eternally in awe and so much gratitude. So thank you. I'm I'm going to start off actually inspired by Tommy Blount, who also has a book coming out. Definitely check it out. Where, there's an homage to Blue Magic. And if you've ever had to have your hair done as a young black girl or have witnessed young black girl's hair getting done, you know what Blue Magic is. And so this is my ode to Blue Magic, and also an ode to hands everywhere that have done the good work of trying to lay those edges down. Blue Magic. Equipped from the siege, it takes detangling a tender-headed child's hair. Mama arms herself, thick-toothed comb parting fields of naps, bushels of soft kink pulled through rubber bands, roots grown into stalks, brown bound by metallic threaded black, the click of two bright marbled orbs. Each Saturday night, we do this dance when she had no room for my mother's and my libretto, our fussin', the rafter pitch of my wail. Just right of her reach, a thin yellow promise to pop my balled up fist should I think of breaking loose. A thunderhead after washing, drops of conditioner, thick, water plump tufts of crowded strands. She pulled the plaits tight, slathered my raw scalp with blue magic. Phyllis sings, when I give my love this time, I'm gonna make it last forever. And perhaps this too is how I'm wrought, the steel of being beautiful, tears for what hands can do. Wrangled wild rind corkscrewed from the fruit, making my grandfather's line repent. But oh, those wayward vines of river Rhine, the devil is a lie in the name of hot combs, hair picks, bobby pins, and satin scarves. I wonder if my mother saw herself in the schoolyard as I smoothed down the feral edges of my hair, watching some brilliant black boy backflip across the grass. In the morning mirror, gel on the bridges of a slender brush, I scooped the baby hairs along my temple into shelves. We drove down 7 miles singing Anita Baker, too early for all that heartbreak. I must have refused her kiss at least once at drop-off. At least once she must have squinted with worry at my newfound love for adornment. Her knuckles white as she pulled away. I don't remember looking back. This next poem is called Between Heaven and the Most Southern Place on Earth for William Foreman Sr., my grandfather, and Emmett Till. I watched my grandfather's morning fingers slip each button in, then out slotted cotton. Sleeves starched to gleam. Effortless magnolia, he sways throughout the house, limbs bent by his own wind, pooling cologne into his palms, blessing the edges of jaw, arch of neck, having remembered less beautiful preparations of the body. Delta men know their wine, a gift, age temporary. And when his mouth widens around, darling, I'm so surprised. It's not the promise of what a baptism might wash away, but what a 1955 Tallahatchie River did not. Sometimes I forget which man lives inside my memory, push against my waking years of him curled beneath the kitchen table, folded over, swatting away snakes only he could see, his howl writhing from the blows of his uncle's ghost. When he was a boy, again, too young to understand why his shade of gorgeous made people violently uneasy. There are a few love songs for Sunflower, Yazoo, Money Boys, to sing themselves to sleep. They learned ritual, a string of slow breaths between buffing black shoes until their lungs fill with every fleck of light. When my grandfather pours into his overcoat, I am young to knowing, too, how fragile his return before his musk fades from the front door. This next poem is my ode to Detroit, and a response to a friend who rightfully reminded me when I was young and full of so many untruths that I had to unlearn about Detroit not being full of flowers. So yeah, thankfully I grew up out of that. This is Still Life of Acme in Spring for Francine and Detroit. From my mouth, forgive me, friend, woman. When I said there are no flowers here, I forgot to mention the bloom of lace around a young girl's ankle at Easter. Her peony afro puffs, carnelian carnations pinned to dresses honoring those mothers not lost. Spectrum of May collected from Eastern Market, rode in mismatched windows, in red wagons, or inside the phantom box of a son's arms. I forget the cured meat spread out from the black barrel of a barbecue, bushel of yarn sopped with sauce, unlike the galls full of blood from a young boy's head. Dear God, the plankton of music, dyeing our faces in the hot summer streets. Fever of jazz, blues, blush of blues, raw heart confront me. This city always in my face. Bouquet of incense, apothecaries with shea and oils. Give $1 and I'll show you a conductor, his white bucket symphony. No, I haven't forgotten the fire. Molotov shards spreading orange and gold flames as a field of dahlia across our living room. Licking my mother's heels, the heroin wolf dragging me from my bed. I don't blame the addict who didn't know which house to huff and blow down, or the firemen arriving late. And yes, angels too. A neighbor who let me, knees pressed to sternum, watch from his porch as our house ashed itself clean. We have to see the truth of things. Did I say there was no flora here? No pollen shaken from the antler's round head? The yellow dust settling in the cracks of windshield? I mean, give me a plot. I'll dig to the rich black. If you've heard the Versus podcast episode or have seen it floating around, I'm trying very hard not to read the 2 poems that are featured on there. Definitely check that out, though, when you get a chance. It was super fun. Shout out to Denez Smith and Franny Choi and the Poetry Foundation for giving space to having that delightful conversation that gave me some lift and made me remember what it's like to sit in a room and gather in joy and laughter and wonder with fellow poets. So thank you so much. I wasn't going to read this, but I'm going to read it because I love this poem. Yeah. When we say we want tenderness, we haven't found a punishment we can live with. Careening between cuffing seasons, I let myself be a good sinner. Our tongues tussle between this 3 a.m. fog, and nothing is miraculous about our bodies except our petulant hunger. You, my one-off lover, massage my calloused feet, and we fill the dusts with nothings, feign intimacy. It's all fine and dark, and I push your face deep enough into my water, pretend this is what desire feels like, but oh, what the clit will do to remember a collaborative song. Its greedy tenor. I am no different than any other animal and the lies we tell. When we say we want tenderness, we mean we haven't found a punishment we can live with. When I say cup the stretch-marked meat, slap the hips horizon until it vibrates the highest pitch, I mean let's make a terrible love song, in which I mean there is no love in conquest, in which I say I'm sorry for the acquisition committed by this lonely, and how I wish I wanted to take it back. And I'm going to read 2 more short poems. 3 years ago today, I had the amazing opportunity and give to travel with a dear friend of mine, fellow poet Cristina Olivares, to Cuba. And so I want to share one of the poems from that journey. This is called Sancti Spiritus, which translates to Holy Spirit. And though I think today, 3 years ago, we were in Santiago, this poem was written in Trinidad, Cuba in 2017. Rain commas the coming dusk as we wander cobblestone streets that sweat, steam along gated windows where old women recline in front of box televisions or stand in doorways gossiping back and forth until the bread cart's bell chimes through their arms triangled on one hip. In YesYes' house, the walls white, though not maleficent, zephyr waves draped so close to the ceiling, I wade through an old, heavy memory. Shepherded by a priest, draped in beads, who only speaks with his eyes. We enter, wait to touch archives, photographs of ceremony glued to faded pages, parades of gorgeous people, all invocation of sun, unfettered for a moment. We hear 2 dogs fight outside the barred window, then a survivor's yelp. A streak of scraggly refuge barks at C's feet and curls beside her to rest. The priest still says nothing, though he knows whose daughter she is on this side of the veil. I offer 3 Nacional to the altar, patron and answer to the dream lodged deep in the channels of my body. Tomorrow we renegade to the beach. I walk into the sea, let the salt seed in the reeds of my hair. And maybe this is a kind of drowning I believe in, thick and slow, until I let myself down into myself, into current, into babble and swell, into my old good name. I'm going to take a sip of coffee, because this is probably the most amount of talking I've done in one sitting. Ooh. And then this last poem, I'm going to read a dance poem, because shout out to the DJs on Instagram who have been giving us all the life with the dance parties, and I have definitely been taking advantage. So shout out to the DJs, all the DJs. I'm going to read the nocturne version of this. This is from 2 poems that are kind of palindromes of themselves, usually utilizing the same title, but they sort of mirror one another. So this is the nocturne one. This is Breakbeat Nocturne with Anemones and Lucky Fish. February fever and the body begs deliverance. In line, women teem with brink, shudder against the shrill season, ecstatic coronas piercing through the veils between us. I give up my name and pay nothing, descend into the mouth of the club where cumbia slips off my thick coat. You flit between floors, green rooms, beneath yellow streetlights, high off echolocation, chest warm with menthol, the heat of our need to come. I center my hips in the crowd's nexus, conjure a deep song, salt so, sweat a sea of wild anemones. Between your thresh and breakbeat, maestro of trap and tropical bass, I slither and bend into every note, torso in translation, pelvis sapid premonition, bones drunk on steel drum and hand clap. What is the body for, if not this black writhe of being alive, the semblance we submit to, and the wild language of air sucked between teeth? In the grimoire of my life, see, lucky fish, 1,000 questions curled as cowrie, once rich, and how long, despite the world's benevolent violence, I kept death waiting, 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 and waiting. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking the time to listen to this digital reading that I just really, really wanted to share these poems with you. We don't yet know how long or the definite end of when we're all surviving as best as we can past this crisis. But I didn't want to wait. I wanted to send you some things. So, yeah, that's all I got. I also wanted to show you this. These are the broadsides that I got the opportunity to make at Fata Morgana Press, which is a press down in the neighborhood of Bridgeport in Chicago. Shout out to them, to Mary and to Angela for allowing me the space and opportunity and resources to come and play with art in the press. These are also available. They are all very different. If you know about letterpressing, there's a number of different sorts of turns and ways that you can put image and text and make broadsides, which was incredibly fun for me to learn. So all of these are uniquely different, and these are also available for sale. I planned on selling them at the readings this spring, but obviously all of those readings got canceled until further notice. So yeah, they're also available for me to mail out to you. You can bundle them with Salt Body Shimmer. You can buy the broadsides separately if you've already gotten copies of the book in the AWP Virtual Book Fair pre-order, which I'm loving seeing so many people who are getting their books this week and last week and have been posting and tagging me. It really, really, really is a balm when you are in self-isolation, currently quarantine day 9, I think. So yeah, those are the options. I'll put all of the information along with the fundraisers for supporting hourly hospitality, restaurant, bar, industry people in the comments, and then the price breakdowns and how you can go about ordering those as well. Again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I'm doing all the things, trying not to go a little stir crazy, which includes collaging and making art, and so, but I'm also taking naps and I'm taking care of my body, and I want you to do the same, whatever measures that you can do to be tender and care for yourself and the people around you. Please, 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 please do. If you can stay home, please stay home. I understand the death cult of capitalism has everybody out here trying to figure out how to manage to take care of themselves. So if you are out in the world having to do what you need to do to feed and take care of your families, I know it's an impossible decision, but just please do your best. Wash your hands, hand sanitizer, disinfectant, stay hydrated, eat vegetables, get vitamins, all the things that you can do. Please, please, please take care of yourself. I'm sending everyone that's watching the utmost love, the utmost light. Yeah, take care of yourselves. All right, sending you much, much love. Peace.